Hey, good evening, beautiful beings. So happy you're here. When we go live, we always make sure to wait a couple of minutes so that everybody that joins has the time to sit, sit back, relax, and join us. And so we give it a few more seconds, or maybe even 2 minutes. Also forgot to get myself some water. I will do that. I'll be right back with you. All right. Back with a cup of tea. Really happy to be here with you. Tonight, we're diving into a beautiful topic, I'd say. And the topic is requested by some of you beautiful beings and our dear clients. The topic is how to channel your creations. We're live here on Instagram. We're live here on Zoom and on YouTube. And to make sure that I check in with you whenever a question comes up, just know your questions are super valuable. Find that very courageous when any question or comment is made. So I'm happy you're here, and it's an honor to may connect. And so if any questions come up now, please type it here in the chat, questions or comments, and I'll try to make sure to go into it and channel the answer. So we're a few minutes in, making sure that you guys are here, making sure that everybody has had the chance to dive in. We'll also record this, which means that we can send this later on, edit it, and send it to our editor to be edited into a podcast as well. So I hope that you find your way to it, and on the many platforms this ends up on, you'll find in the show notes links and information and extra free gifts and all sorts of goodies with which you can actually create your own programs, your books, and your card decks. Because that's basically what I do together with the beautiful team, of course. I don't do this alone. Thank God. There's a wonderful team supporting, and that makes life really a happy experience. Makes it much easier and makes there's so many things I don't know or don't understand when it comes to some of the technical bits and pieces. So thank you, people. I've prepared, so if you see me looking down a bit, I've prepared some points that I would love to go over, of which I think will be, the material will be of service. So how to channel your creations, meaning your programs, your books, your spiritual creations. That can be card decks, that can be workbooks, it can be so many things. How to channel, maybe first, and then how to channel it. anything specific to maybe create it through your hands, I would say let's go into channeling. And what is it? Um, it's a bit of a word, especially in spiritual land. It can almost become a bit of a concept um, that could get the mind stuck on, too much conceptualizing the process itself, which is very much a body experience and for which we need to be connected with the heart and the body. So to stay in the mind and focus on the concept might eventually not be the ultimate best um, way to go. But I think it's a good way to start and to see where we flow into when it comes to channeling and what is that. I would say it's a spiritual process. And just as much as it is a very down to earth activity for which a lot of groundedness is needed, meaning if the word spirituality somehow doesn't resonate, or the word channeling, a way to call it could also be creation process. Creation process, maybe even a state of alignment in which many people could call it when they experience flow. So an example of this could be that whenever you're decorating your house for Christmas or Halloween, or whenever you're somehow decorating your house, whether it's for a new living room that you'd like to uh, furnish in a way that suits and soothes you, or whether that's an experience where you might be just in a process of cleaning and putting on music and dancing through your house, and you have no idea how much time went by from the moment you put on your music, the moment you did all your little activities in your home, to the moment that music stops. Suddenly 2 or 3 hours have gone by. It's that being in alignment and flowing that people would also call creation. And to fully embody the body and to enjoy the process and the moments that we're in is closely related to channeling. And I'd say there's maybe an extra layer to it in which we consciously direct, in which you consciously direct your life force, your energy, and sometimes also emotions, as well as action taking. um, it's a process of creation in which you direct all this life force, all this energy, all this possible emotions, maybe even, and you direct it by letting it first, making sure what it is you want to create, or and sometimes the what is not entirely sure, but the why could be helpful. It depends. Everybody has their own skills in this and their own mechanism, so to say. So in our programs or in sessions with my dear clients, we often dive into, oh, I like it. Thank you, Alex. Life is energy. Yes, very much. Thanks for being here. Um, we're diving into today's topic, how to channel your creations, programs, books, card decks, and how to channel. And we kind of dove into channeling. What is it? And so far, we went into the spiritual layer of the process, as well as the very much down to earth layer, where we need to be grounded in order to have life and this energy flow through us. And it can be, for some people, it's helpful that you know what it is you want to create. Let's say you make a decision on wanting to create a book or a workbook for any of your programs, or there's an online course you're creating, and you know that it will need some videos, maybe some audios, video lessons, audio lessons. You might like a workbook to accompany this beautiful course of yours. So you know there's like several little projects within one big project, because it's going to be a program or an online program or an email program or an email series. And when you know what is about to be created through you, because you're totally excited, you've set and direct your energy towards this. It's often in this process, in the embodiment of what is about to be created through you, that the process of channeling opens up. And some people know this as flow, some people know this as joy, blissful even. And for some people, this is when ideas pop in and suddenly more ideas pop in, and you kind of sometimes don't even have you don't even know where you get the time, or suddenly 3 hours go by and you've created something. It's often in this kind of context that we experience something called channeling. And we human beings. And a very helpful tool, I would say, to practice this channeling would be to do a little prayer, something, or a little prayer or a little intention setting. Let's say you have an online course that you'd like to create, and you know that there's going to be these audio lessons, video lessons, and a workbook that will need to accompany this beautiful creation of yours. And you know for whom it will be and what it will be about in rough lines. It might be that you, by the moment you make the decision, not entirely know yet what every module is going to be about. If there is even modules, maybe there's one workbook, maybe there's several chapters of this workbook. Maybe there's certain exercises that your clients are going to need to go through in order to reach a certain competence or a certain state of being, with which they reach any of the goals or any of the material that you're trying to teach them. And so you get to set an intention for it, and maybe even do a prayer. Maybe I'd like to pray to angels, universe, God, source, whatever fits you, or life, nature, a higher power. It can be your team of love and light, of light beings, whatever fits you, whatever is your style. You can kind of ask what may be created through you for them in the highest good of all. It's a little practice, a little exercise I'd like to do myself whenever I get into a new creation. And yeah, I see a lot of my clients do this. And I'm curious, whoever's watching this, if you have any idea yourself, to please share whatever comes up for you. I am also very much excited to dive further into the things I've prepared for you guys. Very happy for Dutch gewoon. Life is energy. Heel fijn. Thank you so much. Anyone hopping in here, thank you so much for sharing your information, your questions, your comments. Very much appreciated. Thank you for spending this precious time out of your precious life and busy schedules, and for showing up with me here. We dive into how to channel your creations. And that can be programs, online programs, email series, that can be lessons, classes, books, workbooks, card decks, can be so many things. And we dove into channeling and what is it? We dove a bit into creation and what is it? And I wrote down some things that I'd love to go into now, which is the creation cycle. And I think it's helpful to identify whether you're living in a female body or a male body, or if you identify any in any different way. Always and all identifications are welcome, of course. And what is most important here is that to get aligned with what's your core. Do you feel you have a more feminine core or a more masculine core? Because we both have both. We both have masculine and feminine energy. And I'm trying to get to the creation cycle and how it differs for the male body and how it differs for the female body. And meaning the male body and the male cycle is so far known to be 24 hours. And the female body, female cycle, is so far known to be 28 or approximately 28 days. That means 4 weeks of approximately 7 days. And both the male and the female go through these cycles, and both male and female experience a cycle of creation, if you will. And this can be a period, longer period of time. It can be hours, can be days, can be weeks, can be months, can be years, depending on how big of a project you're undertaking and how big of a creation you're creating. And it's helpful to, for the female body, it's helpful to know on what days of your feminine cycle you are when you are about to create. For example, it's very helpful in your winter time in a female body, as your moon cycle starts. This is called winter. This is the time where you go inward, where you have quite, well, a lot less energy than in any of the other cycle weeks. And this is the time that is great for intention setting and for visualizing what it is you'd like to create. But by that time, there's a lot of inward and processing and a lot of surrendering needed first. Then the female body goes into a week of what would be called spring, which is where the seeds you've planted of your intentions will need to be watered, will need some sunlight, earth, maybe some wind. This is, however, already a great place to start giving some happy life energy to any of the intentions you've set and start the process of creation. And this process of creation will grow even higher, I'd say, towards the week after, which is of the cycle week, which is summer, where all of that which you planted kind of comes to fruition or into bloom. And this is where there's more energy, there's more sun, there's more life. This is also when female beings are most fertile, and this is also a good place to create and also a good place to network and connect with people because you have more energy. And then comes the week of autumn, the week before winter comes back, which is a letting go, shedding, maybe even preparing a bit for the time of intention setting the week after. And it's slowly, your energy slowly starts to go inward, it gets a bit lower, there's a bit more tiredness going on. And I would say that especially spring and summer are, for the female being, easier to create. And sometimes autumn is nice to create, but with a slightly softer approach. Maybe some things come through. It's just helpful to know where you're at in your cycle, so that you can approach it with more softness, with more love as well for yourself and that beautiful body of yours. And I would love to hear if you guys have any ideas on this for yourself, and if you've worked with this before and what works well for you. For now, we dove into today's topic, how to channel your creations. And this can be your programs, online programs, email programs. This can be books, workbooks. This can be card decks. It can be so many beautiful things. We dove into channeling and what it is. We dove into creation and what that means, and how it's related to our cycles, and what times of the day, for example, for the male 24-hour cycle, what moments in the day are you most productive? What moments in the day are you more in a winter state, going inward state? What period of the day are you more in an autumn state, like shedding and letting go a bit? When is your spring? When is your summer of the day, of the 24-hour cycle? This is the same. Women can also look at this, of course. However, they probably need to keep in mind also their 4-week cycle, 28-day cycle, to make sure they take good care of themselves and don't expect too much of themselves in the weeks where there's simply less energy to create. And what the body needs in those specific weeks. It's super helpful to check in also for male beings and female beings. What time of the day are you most productive? What time of the day are you in a nice creative flow often? For some of us, that is at night. For some of us, that is in the morning or early morning. For some of it, it's in the afternoon. I know for myself, it can be mornings. It's better for me to have more social connections in the afternoons. Sometimes I have creative evenings, but it's not always my strong suit to do it in the evenings. It's now evening, and I notice this is one of those moments where, after this last class, I would be happy to go home, and I usually go to bed early. So that's something I know for myself. But what is it for you? And what's helpful for you in this? Now, then, from going into this state of alignment, and maybe even asking Source, Universe, God, setting an intention or doing your prayer, what you may create in the highest good of all of your dear clients or children or whoever you're creating something for. Try and connect with that, with this source of yours, and try and connect with the creation of yours, that one would call, I would like to say that your creations, your books, programs, card decks, your business, it has a soul. And try in your prayers and meditations if you can connect to it. And what would it like you to do? What would it like you to create? What does it think is in the highest good of all? And apart from connecting with the soul of your creation, your business, your books, your programs, and whomever you call source, whether that's the universe, whether that's this higher power, that's whether it's nature, whether it's love, whether it's life, for some it's God, however you call it. Pray and meditate and connect with that, as well as with the soul of your creation or your business, and try and connect with for whom, so the collective, your ideal clients or your ideal person for whom you're creating. Try and connect with them and see if you can find some insights, whether that's through journaling, whether it's through meditation and prayer in quiet, whether it's for, we all have our own styles. I like to journal sometimes and just start writing without without stopping, and to see if I can connect with either of these um, people, source, souls, and ask alongside that what may be created in the highest good of all through me, and what would be the next step that I may take towards this creation. And while we're doing this is when we're in the process of channeling, what we call channeling. And it's in those times and before and in preparation of this whole creation process and cycle important that you direct your life force and these prayers and these good intentions, that you direct all this love in such a way that it may come through you, through your hands, that it may be created through you in the highest good of all. With this, you kind of step into a really high level of service, almost spiritual level of service, where this creation in the end may be created through you and channeled through you, and is there as of service to all, to everyone's highest good. And when we do this, we lift and elevate our clients, our business. We lift and elevate towards, well, maybe even God consciousness. And with this, we also lift and elevate ourselves in our own life. And that sometimes when we start lifting and elevating others, this requires quite the level of leadership of self in the first place. Can we lead ourselves to keep on creating and building in the highest good of all? And from this place, can we lead others by living the example and helping them be that living example for the people they are serving and for the material they are creating? Um, it would be a place where you might need to be a bit more visible. It would be a place where you might need to gather some skills to ground well, to be really grounded, to be really calm in order to it's almost like a birth, a creation process. And as well as the playfulness and the joyfulness and the liveliness of this creation process, all of these energies somehow are asked for in the process of creation and in the process of channeling. It's the idea is that we become some sort of vortex, a channel, a portal. These three words are fairly similar in this concept. So you become the channel. That means it's helpful if your body is a clear, light space through which you can create the highest beautiful material ever. And when you channel, when you become this portal, when you become this vortex that is of service to everyone's highest good, including your own, important that it's also in your own highest good. When this happens, this is when we experience, some people call this magic, some people call this flow, some people call this alignment, some people call this love. And it's a beautiful state to may be in, especially when we're of service to this level. And I would say it's such a graceful gift to make, create, and channel for others and yourself and anyone that is that comes in connection or in touch with your creations. And a last thing I would like to add to this prayer or intention setting is a beautiful saying that I've been shy to say for some years, to speak about source or universe, or speak about something, or um, this higher power that some people call God. Um, once you once you've decided that you'd like to create, whether that's a book, a program, an online program, an email course, whether it's a card deck, it can be many things. Once you've decided, it can also be a human being. Maybe you'd like to create a family, a baby, um, the creation of your life. It counts for everything. Once you've decided that you're ready to go and create, um, there's a quote that I really love on this, and that's let go and let God. And when we're able to let go and let God, um, it's then that this channeling or this creating may flow through us that is automatically in the highest good of all. And I'd like to close today's class with this: let go and let God. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, spiritual coach. Thank you, everybody here on Zoom and YouTube. It's been an honor to me sit with you and to dive into today's session. It was lovely to have you here, and we'll make sure um, to connect this to our podcast as well. Once the dear team has edited this, it will end up in our podcast. For now, I'd love to thank you for taking all your precious time and being here until the very end. It's been an honor, and I'd love to take a little moment to let you know that if you're ready to channel and create your beautiful creations, we have a beautiful online community, a beautiful membership, and you'll get access to a lot of videos, a lot of there's one beautiful big workbook with several modules. So there's a video and a module every week in your email inbox. And then there's a lot of extras, there's a lot of templates, there's forgiveness circles or inner work coaching circles, if you will. There's Q&As, there's live classes like this one, and all of that you get for just 111 euros a month. And there's also an option to step into our group program if you'd like some masterminds. And there's definitely also the option to go even more high end, which is with one-on-ones with me. And we offer these just rarely, the one-on-ones and the special program, so to say. It's like a coaching and a business accelerator. And for some, it's also including life coaching. And if you want that, please reach out. I just take a few people a year for this. And we open our doors soon. Our doors are open in December and January. So that people can start in January. And I would love to have you with us in our group. It would be an honor. So please do reach out if you feel ready for that. And I can't wait to see you all soon. Sending you big hugs. Oops.